3 of the poems, by the way, are about Lindsay Lohan? Is that true?
I think she's in 2 of them.
What's going on with that? What's the obsession there? Talk to me about this.
It's not the obsession, but...
Why?
Yeah, I mean, she was, okay, it's a good question. There's one that uses her as a character. One of my mentors is a poet named Frank Bedart. He did and the title, sorry, there's a long answer. The title of the book is called Directing Herbert White. Herbert White is a poem by Frank Bedart. In that poem, he uses another character, this psychopath named Herbert White, as sort of a mask or a mouthpiece to talk about certain ideas and certain kind of states of being. And so I thought I would kind of emulate that and use Lindsay, not really Lindsay as a person, but Lindsay as a public person or a public figure, as sort of a mask to talk about certain kind of states of being in the limelight, being a celebrity, being that kind of thing.
So is she your muse?
Well, there's one poem that's only about her, and then there's one poem that's about that famous hotel in Los Angeles called the Chateau Marmont, and she lived there for 2 years. When I lived there for a year, and we were there was an overlap, so that's kind of when I knew her the most, but we're talking like 7, 8 years ago.
You know, because the last time you were in, I asked you if you banged Lindsay Lohan, and you said absolutely not.
I did not, and then I guess a list came out or something.
The list came out that she banged you.
It's a lie, and
why would she lie about that?
Who put out the list?
You know,
you tell me, because I don't know. I'm not totally up on the list, but from what I read, it sounded like she was with friends at the Beverly Hills Hotel or something, and wrote out a list, and then they left it there, and somebody found it. But now maybe she's owned up to it. I don't even know. You got to tell me.
I'll tell you who's on her list.
Okay.
All right. So supposedly this.
But has she owned up to it?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
So, but you know, my thought was when I saw this list, I said, "Oh, James is a gentleman. He must have banged her." And when he was on my
gentleman? What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
A gentleman would not.
So I said, yeah. So I'm saying you said I didn't bang her, but meanwhile Lindsay's now letting it out that you did bang her, or you're completely embarrassed that you banged her.
I will swear on anything you ask that I have never had sex with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, and like Bill Clinton, I have never had sex with that woman.
Oh man!
Now, what is your?
What can I do? What can I do that?
I don't know. I might. Have to inspect your
here's
penis.
the problem. Here's the problem. I bet you if we brought her in here and you asked her to her face, did you have sex with James, she would say yes. I think she's that
delusional.
Or doesn't remember,
did you
or
make
what?
Out with her? Did you feel her up? Did you? I mean,
all right, we maybe kissed.
You kissed, okay. Why not? She's a pretty girl, you know.
No, it was lame.
It was lame. Yeah. You shouldn't have done it. JD, what are you saying?
I was going to say the list, she made it for her sponsor, her rehab sponsor or something.
Oh, God, that's horrible. That got out?
Yeah. And
that's horrible.
While cleaning her apartment, someone supposedly took a picture of it.
Cleaning the apartment, somebody saw it.
So
that's like supposed to be so private. That's horrible.
That's like
horrible.
Yeah, but it was in her house.
I can't believe that she put me on that private list.
You're in her book, too.
She's so delusional.
You are obsessed with her. But,
no, I'm not.
So why?
I wrote one poem.
So you're two. So you're upset.
She's a part of one. Okay. 1.5.
So you're upset that you made out with her because it was lame.
I'm not upset. You bring it up.
Well, you said it was lame. I'm quoting you.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, it's not like I'm upset about it. It's just.
But you're not proud of it.
It's just not a thing. I don't know.
Look
how I couldn't even remember. Yes, I did.
But why only make out with her? Like, why not bang her?
Okay, if you really want to get into it, this is like meaningless in my life. But when we made out, it was even longer. It wasn't even the time. It was so long ago. It wasn't even the time when we were both at the Chateau Marmont, and I was like a nice guy. Like, I just was like, okay, the kiss is enough.
Right.
And it was also sort of like, what the hell am I doing? This is...
Because you were
She was young, and, you know, and it was...
And you were not intellectually stimulated by her. I mean,
no, it was just like...
Was she,
it was sort of like...
out of it?
Yeah,
I think I was doing like Spider-Man 2.
Right.
And I was here in New York, and it was sort of like... Wow, I was sort of like in awe, like, wow, this is like a big celebrity. Like, okay, we'll kiss. Whoa, wow.
It's true. You want to know something? You almost feel... I've kissed a few celebrities. Like when I was single, I got into it. And you're almost like, I can't believe I'm kissing a celebrity. You know, like... Because in some way we all feel like inside...
Well, yeah, you tell me about that, because it's sort of like... that weird thing maybe where you're in private, but it's like the whole world is somehow in there with you. Like,
yeah, like what? Do one for the team or something.
Yeah.
Like you can't even believe you're in that position. That someone like that would be involved with you.
You've got to do it for your
but
friends.
It's also, but I think it's also like you're there with a person, but there's like a screen between you, because everything else you know about that person through their movies or music or whatever it is also kind of in the room with you. And so it's like you're with the person, but you're also with the icon.
You're with the legend. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. You know, it's almost like you feel obligated to be with them. And it is lame. It is lame. You're right. You know what? I get it.
No. I'm not saying it's always going to be lame with this celebrity. I'm just saying my kiss with Lindsay Lohan was lame.
Right.
It wasn't like...
It was just a kiss.
But here's the...
It was just a kiss, but like...
You didn't feel...
Whatever. This can be analyzed however much you want.
Here's the thing.
I'm being pretty damn open, so...
No, you are. But here's the crazy thing.
It's not like I'm in office or something. I need to, like...
No, but here's what... You're
questioned about
you're
this.
not the president of the United States. Maybe one day. But James, it's like... What's weird about it is you're in a book somewhere in her apartment where she believes she banged you.
I know that.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. And that. What do you make of that?
Well, that says more about her than it does about him. That's what I'm saying.
You're on a list.
I don't know what to say other than we were at this hotel during I think a very dark period of her history, and I think she liked. I mean, it seemed pretty damn clear that she liked me. Like, I was in school at the time, strangely, like living at the Chateau Marmont and going and getting my bachelor's degree at UCLA, and I'd come home late and to the hotel, and she'd come find me, or I knew which room she was in. She had 2 rooms. I knew which room she was in, and I'd see, through the window, like, oh, there's another party over at Lindsay's, and she would come. I was in the bungalow area, so she'd come out to the pool area and find me. Jeez. And she even, I think it's in the poem. She even broke into my room one time, like, because she was such a. So at home there, I guess they just gave her the key, and so 3 in the morning, I always would sleep. I would sleep on the couch, so I was on the couch, and I opened my eyes, and there's Lindsay in my room at 3 a.m.
You're fucking kidding me.
And it's like, okay, what do I do now? Like,
what do you do when somebody's in your room at 3 in the morning? And you...
I tell you, I tell about it in the poem. It sounds so nerdy, but I read her a story because I was in school, so it was sort of like, all right, well, maybe I'll get a little homework done, so I'll read her a story.
It's amazingly admirable that you didn't fuck her, actually, because... Well, maybe you did. Maybe you don't remember. It's possible.
What I hate here is, like, it just sounds like I'm no, because we're talking about this, it sounds like I'm in such denial.
No.
But I will swear on my mother's life that I never had sex with her.
No, I agree. I understand, and I almost think it's admirable, because when a girl is worshiping you that much, well, let's face it, she's a good-looking girl, and she is Lindsay Lohan. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, she's there, like, worshiping you, like, staring at you like a puppy. And most guys would fuck the girl and take advantage of her,
I mean, I think...
Could you have fucked her in your sleep?
Or maybe it already happened.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
you weren't even naked with her, right?
I mean, I guess I would never know. Maybe that's what happened, but... the
hell knows? It's a mystery. This is so intriguing.
She was, I mean, I guess you could say we were friends, although, I hesitate to say that, because every time I brought her back into my life or tried to be nice, it's just like turned really lame and stupid. And
stupid or dangerous?
Well, okay, here's an example. Like, I had this inclination to write about her earlier than the book. And Terry Richardson, the photographer, and I we had this idea, let's do this book centered on the Chateau Marmont Hotel. Because I'd done like 3 photo shoots with him there. And I knew that he had done some photo shoots with Lindsay there, and I thought, it'll be cool if you do the images and I'll do the text. And he said, okay, well, let's do one more photo shoot with you and Lindsay together here. And it was around the time when I was hosting the Oscars, and I was like, it was like the night before we were supposed to do the night before the Oscars. I was supposed to do it, and I was like really depressed because I just knew the show was not going to be that great. So I was like, dude, I can't do this.
You can't do a photo shoot the night before because my night tomorrow is going to be awful.
Yeah, I was depressed, and so he did it with her. But then all of a sudden, I mean, the only people that knew that we were doing this photo shoot were me, Terry, and Lindsay, and like maybe my assistant. And all of a sudden this thing comes out, James and Lindsay are doing a sex book. Like, who leaked that? You know what I mean? Like, so...
I have a good idea.
Well...
Yeah. So in other words, there are people you can trust, and there are people you can't.
Yeah. And
so that was the last contact you had with her.
I mean, if we really want to get into Lindsay Lohan, the last time I think I saw her, I was doing a project here in New York with some of my students at NYU, and we were putting on this show that was called Collage, and it had performance, dance, video, all this. It was like a collage of different media and forms and stuff. And so she was in town, and she said, I haven't seen you in years. I want to come see you. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. I'm going to be, I'm in class all day, and I'm then rehearsing this thing at night. And she said, well, can I come to rehearsal? I said, okay, fine. And as soon as she got in there, I realized, wow, this is a big mistake. Like, you can have other friends come and watch rehearsal, but when you're in a small rehearsal space and you're with undergrads, and Lindsay Lohan walks in, like, everything stops. Like, they're not free anymore. They're, like, just looking at, like...
Sucking the energy over that side of the room, yeah.
And then she, like... I don't think this is bad to reveal. She just started, like, being so rude. Like, she started, like... I guess because the attention was on her, or I don't know what, but she just started making comments about the poor undergrad actors, like, audibly.
Critiquing them.
Yes. Yeah. And then... I kind of, like, sat in front of Lindsay so, like, they wouldn't see her. And that still wasn't working, so I stood up to give notes to one of the actresses. I just didn't want even Lindsay to even hear, so I went over to one of the actresses or one of the dancers and was, like, telling her something. And Lindsay, like, just said something in front of everybody, like, who does she think she is? Or she's terrible, or something like that. And I just turned to her and I said, Lindsay, you can either shut up or you can leave, because we don't need your comments. Like, I didn't even want her there. I invited her to be nice. Yeah. And she just got really mad and stormed off, and we locked the door because I knew it was going to turn into a scene. She was going to come back and, you know.
Well, as a teacher, you know that students are going to get completely inhibited if an actress is going to sit there and berate them. Then you don't feel free to perform or experiment.
Yeah. Well, it's just like... It was just a bad idea. You know, I thought I would just kill 2 birds with 1 stone and, you know, be nice and see her again. And it was just a horrible mix.
Do you think she was jealous that they were getting the attention from you and you were... I think that was it.
Yeah, but,
you know?
She was also in a bad place, you know, at that time. Right. We're talking years ago again. I haven't seen her in years.
Right.
The last... Yeah, so this whole list thing, like, brought up our relationship. And the poems. But I wrote the poems, like,
well, that's
4 years ago. So it's like, you know, it's not like this is a live kind of relationship or friendship. Like, we're...
Now, I have a new theory.
Yeah.
Maybe the list was guys she was in love with. That's what I think it was. You know what I mean?
I mean, if she wanted to include that kiss, maybe that's why I'm on the list. Or her obsession, yeah. I mean, it was a long period. It was almost a year of like, oh, here's Lindsay again. Here's Lindsay again. And
would you say it was stalking? Well, when someone comes into your room at 3 o'clock in the morning.
that's stalking.
That is stalking.
we were, at that time, we were friends. Like, you know, I had this period where I'd go to clubs and she was always there. And so we, you know, it wasn't like, oh, I got to escape Lindsay. Although, you know, she would have these periods where she, you know, I don't know if she was using something or whatever, but she would just turn horrible. It was like the bad Lindsay, and you just had to get away. But, you know, we were friends. There were times when we, you know, when it was fine to be around her.